This video is powered by LearnToPlay.live, the only hardware synth performance course. Register now and enjoy 40% off. I'm creating a new live techno setup. I've got a gig all the way up in Leeuwarden, which is in the north of Holland, and I think it's pretty interesting, so I'm taking you through the steps of what I'm actually using. So that's today's video. Are you ready for it? Let's go and do that right now. Hey, what's up? I'm in a low kitchen and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. It helps the channel. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. There's a lot I would like to tell you, especially about LearnToPlay.live, a new platform on which you can learn how to play live. In the aftermath of Superbooth, I have to be quite honest. I got the Eurorack bug back. It's not that I didn't have it before. I had like a lot of modules. I did speak to a lot of manufacturers as well, but you know what? I think for me, it's finally time to dive right into it. Not to the extent that I'm going to just like completely forget about what I've been preaching for the last 5 years on the channel, no, but I think it's an interesting new avenue and I like to take stuff with me on the road. For one, it's very compact. It can be expensive, let me put it that way, but if you're thinking of, I'd like to have a little bit more versatility, I like to be more versatile, I like to do a little bit more stuff. I mean, you can get to really custom build your idea. You have to start with an idea though, because this will be costly if you don't have an idea, but from the minute you think you know where you're going in terms of drums, in terms of sounds. I do think this is my process at the moment, and there's a lot of new modules since the last time that I tampered with it. I mean, I come from the maths background, maths and a lot of the tip-top stuff, but now there are so many new manufacturers and new ways to do stuff, so I'm very, very much interested in looking where I can take it. Now, my live setup today consists of a 1010 black box. It consists of an Octatrack. Those are my go-to machines. I've got the mini tower with me. I'm also bringing a filter by Erica Synths, that is the Acid Box 3, but I've also got the Nano Instruments 808 drums that I'm using in a live setup, and I've got a dual oscillator by Clavis, the Twin Waves, which is also using. So there's a few interesting things that are happening with the modular in conjunction to the stuff that I already had. Now, how am I going to go about it? I will do a jam, and afterwards I'll explain what is what. Are you ready? Let's do that. man, my adrenaline really keeps pumping when this stuff happens. Now, where to start? There's a lot going on. At the same time, it's not too hard. You can see there's one module that I did not connect it. Okay, for those of you not familiar with Modular, there's a few things that are happening. Essentially, there are two different things that I can do with this system. There are oscillators, one by Clavis, the twin waves, dual VCO LFO. So then there's the Pittsburgh oscillator, which can go also to audio rate. And then there's a 110, an A110-1 voltage controlled oscillator by Doepfer. Now, what I have essentially done is I went the octave 1 route where I stack a lot of the same stuff on top of each other. First, let's go over what's happening. This is the Metropolis. This is a sequencer that can do nice arpeggios. And there's a pulse count on which you can tell it to just hang on a step for a longer period of time. So instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can just say like it's going to linger on for 8 steps here. And then, you know, so you can essentially just make a very long sequence if you would want to. And then there is a gate mode on which it either plays long notes, it plays dotted notes, or it plays the first note. And this is a trick that I do in conjunction with the opto mix. I will get there. That's a gate. It's a gate, which is really pretty cool because I get to just do note length. So this acts as a mixer, but it acts as a gate as well. So it's a nice, say, enveloper is what I use it for now. Let's go on. Metropolis. Yeah, that's making that nice acidy kind of sound. The twin waves is going into one input of the Optomix, and then the auto VCO here is going into another. And then I have multiplied the control inputs so that if I twist this gate time knob longer and shorter, it will affect both these oscillators to be longer and shorter. That's that. Then there's a whole lot of Erica synth stuff here. I'm only using this low pass, the black low pass voltage control filter. I'm using it. There's a coupler and there's a high pass filter, so you can actually join them together and have this thing do bandpass stuff and just get the center where the different cutoff elements are, which are pretty cool. Then there is a black dual ASR envelope generator that is also cool to just like invoke pulses. So if I stick this into the filter CV in, or the resonance CV in, it starts to, you know, instead of me holding the knob constantly, this thing does it by means of a pulse. And when it's on gate mode, it just does whatever the gate is doing. The gate is coming from, the clock is coming from this Metropolis here. But then I get to just like decide where it goes. And when I put the loop on, it starts to do crazy stuff. So you can really send this thing. Then there is a ring crossfade, which is a ring modulator, which is cool. So obviously with another output of one of the oscillators, I can tell it to just like go in and be either the carrier or the source and do ring modulation. So that in terms of sound, there's a lot that I can do. There's a rotating clock divider. It gets the same clock, because the clock essentially is coming from this black box. You know, so you see this purple cable, that is the clock in, and then I distribute the clock within this rotating clock divider, which sends clock in different measures out to the rest of the modular. Now I only need clock for this, and I need clock for this nice little new module, which is the Nano Systems analog drums, 808 drums. Now I am not doing it any justice, but for today I only used it for the analog. For the snare drum, and the snare drum can do a lot of stuff. If I play, let's play. So that's that voice, and then here, because I've muted it now, there's 4 mutes on the top. You see it here. I'm only using it, so on track 2. Track 1 is essentially the bass drum, selecting it here. So, and then I've got my bass drum here. So I could essentially use this as well. If I want to do different drums, I can just do this, make this a little bit shorter. A lot of decay. See, it's on a completely different measure because this has to have a reset. But you know, in terms of what's happening, because I reset it with a sync clock here. If it goes off beat, it starts to just like fall back in the beat again, right? So, but I'm not using the kick drum because on my kick drums that I've got sitting right here, you know, I've got these really big. See, because now it's completely out of beat. See? So, and it's nice because the 808 snare has got a certain amount of snappiness to it, where, you know, it sits neatly within the groove. If you want to make a bass drum and you don't want to use a loop per se, if you want to make a groove, let me put it that way, and you don't want to use a loop, I think an 808 snare does a trick. Listen. So let me exaggerate what's happening here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, think of an old record by Richie Hawtin under his moniker Plastic Man. He made this track called Spastic. Then you know exactly what I mean. This snare was the whole thing. I think I can make a track out of this completely. Now the trick that I've done with my kick drums, let's go there for a second, let's turn this hi-hat off, is I've got two kick drums sitting on top of each other. There's one here, which is essentially just, let me turn this off. Bam, ba-dum, bam, bam, bam. Very nice and thick bass drum to really like make sure that the bass woofers got something to do in the club. And then this is that right hook to the jaw kind of bass drum, you know, which really essentially works well as well. So both of them nice. And I didn't really go overboard with EQing stuff. I literally just like, let's see what I did on this kick drum. No, nothing. And on the first one, there you go, there's an equalizer there. So I've made sure that certain frequencies do not clash with each other within those things. Then obviously the old trick that I've done a million times, snare drum, bam, boom, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I'm on 140 BPM, by the way, you know, and then a small hi-hat, right? But this is all like from boom, 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 boom. So again, I'm already invoking breakbeat territory. I'm not doing it with this top kick. I'm just, so it gives a little bit of that, you know, it has a little bit of a hippity hop to it, which means that if I'm entering that snare in, it gives you an instant groove with literally 3 ingredients. Try this stuff out. But the thing with everything that I'm doing is I can make it work because it's to do with leveling. And what I like about this module is that for me it's very Analog Kitchen stupid proof. I can literally dial in where I think it needs to sit within the mix. Now the kick drum is everything in my kind of style of music with the 140 BPM, you know. Now, because I don't want to rely completely on the modular as of yet, as I need more stuff for it, and I'm not there yet. I can see a mixer, I can see more drums or more drum sounds or whatever, but I told myself, this the hell is it. Bigger case means more problems, means more organs I need to donate to God's will to get it going. And I think for now it's all right, you know what I mean? So I got the Steppy, IntelliGel Steppy, which is a sequencer obviously, and that is sequencing this snare drum. Now let me, because if I get sick and tired of this, I'll just say like, okay, let's go here and see what it's doing. See, so nothing. I can clear it easily if I wanted to, but this is cool for life, you know? Okay, nice soca beat. So okay, grab your girlfriend off the couch and start moving that techno salsa beat in. Okay, let's stop there. Well, you understand what I'm saying, but I need a little bit of this randomness going. So now you got a nice low end, high lows, the higher lows, you know, the low mids, I could say, mid range with the snare and the hi hat, and then if everything is saturated enough, because this hi hat obviously is not a clean sort of like hat, you know what I mean? It's really very dirty, it's brushy. It will work. Now, if this is not enough, I'm adding drums to it, coming from the black box. So if I got this, and with my snare, you know, this is a cool hat. I got a ride cymbal sitting on. Now this is only there for that frequency range. It doesn't really have to do much, but if it's not there, you miss some sparkle in the top, and I can turn it up and turn it down. Now it's not this loud, but I can say like I make it louder. There's a little bit of reverb on there, so it sits within the atmospheric part of my sound. And then if I'm thinking, okay, I need something to be a little bit more sparse, I will muffle this away a little bit, this 909 snare, less of the noise, and enter in my snare, which is just a normal 707 snare, I think it is. I don't think I went for, what did I go for? 909 snare. It can be an 707 snare as well. Mind you, everybody's raving about the 909 hats and the 909 snare, but if you want to even have a little bit more of a snappy, aggressive kind of vibe, try the TR707. It's also a very nice drum computer by Roland, and those samples are absolutely awesome, which is really, really cool. Matthew Johnson used a lot of 707. I actually saw him play at a Super Booth. It was absolutely awesome. So yeah, try that out. Now, I've got the old-fashioned 808 hats, which I can use here as well, but then again, I didn't use them here, I used them here, because it's easy under my fingers, otherwise I have to constantly do it, because this is a set it and forget it kind of vibe, as you can hear. See? Cool. Then I can use more hats here. Now the first row here is samples. Move to the rhythm. Tech, 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 tech. Okay, sex, pills, and on the ground phenomenon, which for some reason is just like hidden in the darkness. Let's turn it up a little bit. This is my ramblings, sitting there drinking non-alcoholic beer and still getting drunk, so you can hear it. Anyway, so that's that. Then I've got a right cymbal sitting here, so let's turn this right cymbal off and say, easy now. Turn this one off and turn this one off, so you'll hear what is happening. Let the snare there for a second, which is on a drum roll. And then I have some percussion here. A clap on the one. And another clap, so if I mistake and I enter too many notes in, it will do bam, boom, cap, boom. Cool. I'm getting to the hi-hats. Okay, let's turn them off and let's go over the hi-hats. Hi-hats in. First hi-hat. Hey, it's pretty much doing the same as this one. You can hear it? So I've got different options. If I get to a club and this is all the way over this side, I can get to it fast because everything has got to do with performability for me, right? Cool, okay. Now, another hi-hat. And they're all dirty, right? Another hi-hat. And another hat. Now, in terms of music, I've got an ARP sitting here. Very techno. But I've got some of those sounds, so this is all melodic stuff here. Everything on the last far lane here, top down, is melodic stuff. That I've got sitting here as well, right? Nice, right? Okay, so going back to this one. So you can make a transition and then quickly switch to another pattern. I'm only using this bank C. I've got more drum banks already ready for transitioning into different drums, but to keep it very simple and for you to follow along what's happening, I'm just keeping within this C bank with the sounds that I've got right here, right? Cool. And another one here. And I'm trying to make sure that whatever I program or you know, I make it on my computer, and then, or I find it, or I'll chop it, or whatever, it needs to just do something really fairly simple. I'm trying to keep it, you know, because my basement pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, da, da, da. That's spanning over the whole sort of like 4 steps of the one bar, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And with techno, if you want to get a little bit more bass or a little bit more faster sort of like information, it'll be cool to have shorter sequences. And this is 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, get the count to 4, you get the count to 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I'm speeding my stuff up and I need stuff to go faster, this is the trick. This is like 1, 2, 2. So within 2 steps of the bar, you hear the whole revolving sequence. Same thing, right? Goes here as well. And this works well wonders when you got a clap constantly invoking 1, 2, 3, because usually a clap goes up, up, like my snare here. 2, and 4, the 2 and the 4. But this is when you got this. All of a sudden now we're in the 1, 1, 1, 1. So it's really a bass to give a little bit more vibe. Now, and then there's the one pattern that I really like, which is this one. This also just like invokes hypnotism. And everything that you'll hear goes through this machine right here, the acid box. So I get to just decide whether you want to hear it, yes or no. Now the fun part is if I turn the snare off, let's do a different clap here. Usually I'm always doing this with the drum roll, which is here. But if I turn it off, I got enough information, and I've got a different kick drum sitting here. Listen. So now within the track, I can even think like, okay, whoa, this is interesting. Let's try that stuff out. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will do a clap and a different bass drum. So all to do with longevity, getting your track to just prolong, be more prolonged, longer sounds, and you know, getting that stuff going. Now, loving that, knowing that if the crossfader is all the way on the right side, I should be tempering about with this snare drum, because obviously, but I can have an impact. If I want to get out of this sound here and into the sound that I've got here, again I do this. See how we speed up the beat? And then if we want to take that longevity stuff out, then 1, 2, 3, and 4 with this clap right here, which is also on a 4 beat measure. I'll take it out. And once I think, hey, this is going somewhere, I'm thinking, hey, I got that snare in. And that's how you speed up the hamster wheel. If people are in a zone dancing, you get to just like accelerate your groove a little bit. And that's pretty amazing. Now you heard me do something else that I didn't address as of yet, which is the last thing I want to talk about on this video, which is the almighty Minitar. Now you heard me play something with it. I have got the Minitar sitting on MIDI. There's also reverb on this side. I've got the Minitar sitting on MIDI on the first MIDI channel, so I have to go here. So now I've got this MIDI side on chromatic mode, meaning that this is the keyboard. I can now play stuff in, you know. You see, once I hit it, you see that it's receiving MIDI, and I've got it sitting on track number 1 on the mixer here. Now what I did is, this is a trick I do with the Minitar, stop screaming, is that, let's get out of the MIDI mode. The reason it's squealing and screaming and being angry is because I have completely screwed up the LFO rate. And I've screwed around with the oscillators. Now it's a nice bass line, right? Now if you want to get a little bit of that Underworld kind of overdriven vibe, turn up the resonance. And you self-resonate with the filter. This is a trick that I can do. So, bassline, self-resonating stuff. And if it really needs to be techno, we'll shorten the notes and then we'll open up the LFO road completely, the voltage controlled LFO amount. And now it starts to become, and here you can get to set the, now one thing we forgot, there is the blue sky, the black sky in my case, sitting right here. This is dry, as you can hear, and obviously live becomes more interesting once you temper with a little bit of reverb on sounds like these or sounds like these, like this voice that I have right here. Here, two oscillators. Now this doesn't get more techno than this. Clap again. All right, guys. Any questions? Anything you would like to know? Anything you think I missed? Don't kill me on the modular stuff. I literally just got into my bearings. I know I can do so much more with the IntelliGel Steppy, the sequencer. For now, I just literally, that's you know me. I get it. I'll tamper with it. If I can play with it, it's going on stage. So I'm taking this to my gig tomorrow in Leeuwarden. Buiten dansen is what it's called, means dancing outside. I've got a 2.5 hour techno session going on there. So obviously I didn't want to prepare too many things and give myself a hard time and trying to come up with things on the fly. So this is pretty much my idea. Whew. Yeah, what can I tell you? I'm really enjoying this kind of approach. It's a new setup again. I do like it. I mean, it's weird, you know. As a musician, if I can consider myself one, I understand that the classical way of thinking is, you know, I really don't see, for instance, guitars like changing their guitar every other sort of like. But this whole setup, to me, it's like an ever-evolving instrument. I like to implement things that are current. I like to also implement techniques that are now and very much happening. And in that sense, I'd like to just venture out. I do believe that by this time, manufacturers are catering to certain demands coming out of the market, which means like for certain sounds, there are certain machines. I mean, if you say Octatrack or you say TR-909, you most definitely understand that you would push it into the techno realm. If you're talking about an 808 drum computer, or in my case, the nano instruments, analog drums 808, I think you want to go electro, or that will be your thing. You know, there's a lot of opportunities that you can build with certain sounds, proven concepts, which means that to have a setup that is set in stone will work, especially if you're starting out. I will not do what I've been doing if you're starting out. No. It will cost you a lot of money, it will cause you a lot of frustration. So it's best to just stick with a certain machine and then just learn it until you know it, master it until you really know it. That means you're going to go through certain moments where you really hate the machine, you don't want to do anything more. But those are the times that if you push through that you're actually going to really understand more about it. Now, I have also been guilty of certain things. I mean, I get away on the channel by sometimes just like lifting the veil. Like for instance with the Innovation Circuit, there's so much more that I can do with it. But in the end of the day, I've already performed for 15,000 people with it. If it works for me, it works for me, and that should be your prerogative as well. Meaning that if you want to get a deep dive into how everything works to a T, learn to play live, that is actually where we're going to do it. And because I just told you what my philosophy is, being in this industry for close to 40 years. I understand what it is that I do and the way I do it and the way it works, but I've got help. I've got help by a lot of friends. The question that arises, like, what do you learn when you join up with Learn to Play Live? Well, what you learn is how to interpret your own artistry or your own creative being and how you can make sense of it once you're on stage. There's a lot of things that you can do, but a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of X-factor situations that if you're not prepared for them, they might throw you off. And you know, if you can take that insecurity away by having you talk to the people that were there from day one, the people that are there right now, you know, current people, like people that are relevant to this situation, I think this is going to set this education apart from anything else. I mean, you hear it from the horse's mouth. Modular stuff, talk to Traversy, you know, I've even spoken to Aura, you know, I've even spoken to so many different people. I mean, like I keep saying, DJ Pierre on acid, on fluctuating frequencies, on building house grooves, talk to Joe Smooth, you know, on immersive audio in terms of Dolby Atmos and whatever, talk to Atibao. If you want to talk MIDI, you talk to Gerrit from Retro Kids. I mean, and the list goes on and on. Check out the website learntoplay.live, and yeah, spots are filling, so you know, get on board. At the moment, we got a nice sort of like so many % off, because it's the first year. We're going to start this whole thing up, and that's very interesting to be a part of. I'm also going to finish within the next 6 weeks. After that, you might kill me there. The analog courses, these are smaller courses that I'm going to just like finish, edit, and that is also done. And if you're interested and you want to talk more, or you want to know more about either that or Learn to Play Live, get on board. Don't be a stranger. Thanks everybody who made this far into the video. You're an absolute superstar. My name is Analog Kitchen. Don't forget it. Like and share, tell everyone about it. I mean, we've got a good vibe going. If you want to get closer to me, also patreon.com/analogkitchen is where you can just like, you know, get closer to me and to the community, talk about this stuff, gear, what to buy, what not to buy, how to compose yourself, play your demos, have people be respectful about what it is that you're doing, your goals and where you would like to be. And you know, it's really cool. And even if you just want to say hello and want to hang out with some cool, like-minded people, we welcome you with open arms. With that said, thank you for watching. I'll be here next week with another video. My name is Analog Kitchen. I'll catch you next week.